Deep in the darkest depths of the Minecraft world, something ancient has risen. Welcome back, everyone. Today I built a Warden inspired house, and it's as eerie, powerful, and mysterious as the Warden itself. I wanted to capture that deep, dark aesthetic, so I started with a moody color palette. Blackstone. I had a couple blocks from some add-ons, so like it's a cyan fire powder block. I don't know, it makes pretty particles. And then some blue lanterns from a lighting add-on that I had recently purchased. And then within the build, hints of skulk to give it, that underground ancient biome vibe. So, a quick tip to all you out there, I think something that really helps me get a lot of dimension and just add small little details to my build is actually through using a lot of glass. So, in a lot of my builds, I use glass as a big focal point to create more dimension. So, in this specific build, I have two different kinds of glass going on. I have a cyan stained pane glass, so that's like the little thin ones, and then I'm using some black tinted glass, which are the blocks. So what I start out doing is I use the color I want to see most clearly. So obviously if I put the black first, then I can't see the cyan, and I really want to be able to see that cyan, like a nice bright pop of color. So I put that first when I'm building, and then I layer the black glass behind it, and then I build it up from there. And it not only creates like a nice gradient effect as you're building, but it also gives just a bit more depth. So you're layering, as you layer the colors of the glass, it creates colors in between, if that makes sense. The crossover of the different shades. Okay, another tip I really wanted to share with you is when you're making a roof, I think it's really important that if you're trying to go for a higher level build, that between where the roof starts and the rest of your build, you need some type of transition piece. So you need a transition block. So in my instance, I have the skulk as my roof, and then I have a bunch of glass as kind of the walls for the rest of my build. And like it could look okay if I just left it like that, but to really elevate the build, I put a border of like that cyan wood, and I used wood planks to kind of map it all out. And then I went in and I made some of them wood blocks to create some type of depth. Additionally, a little tip that I like to use when I'm creating like a more dome-like shaped roof is I'll go layer by layer, and I kind of do what I call like a soft mold. So I'll sketch it out, and then I'll do a layer, and then I'll go back and I'll edit that layer, and I'll do it like one by one by one. That way I can really build up that shape. Because when you start just building, 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 and you're not looking at the overall structure, like far away, that's where you kind of lose what you're trying to achieve real easily. Okay, the overall shape of the house is meant to kind of have two parts, a big glassy base and then a skulky like top, so kind of like a dome shape, joined together by like end rods. That way it has, a wide open mouth, kind of glowing eyes made of solite, creepy and awesome. Inside, I kept the lighting low and spooky, just like ancient cities. I used the floor and ceiling as major focus points to draw your attention. The floor is created in the shape of a star to go with the whole, starry, spooky vibe. And then when you take a gander at the ceiling, you may notice it looks like a night sky. So it also kind of looks like a portal to another dimension. Hey, maybe that's how we get to the ancient city, no? So this build works great as a cozy home for some wisps too. In case you didn't notice, I have some new glowy friends flying about. These guys are all kinds of different colors of wisps that I also got from that same lighting add-on. They're super cute and they kind of really make the space feel magical and whimsical inside. The base is fully secure with room for storage, enchanting, and brewing, all that good stuff. Or you could use it just to terrify your friends. So this was one of my favorite builds to design, mixing that spooky aesthetic with something actually functional, except I didn't design anything really functional, let's be real. So let me know what you'd like to add to the Warden house in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you want more dark and twisted Minecraft builds like this one. Thanks for watching, and watch your step out there. You never know what's listening. As always, be good people, do great things. Love you. Bye!